what you see on the whiteboard here are two words. On the left, polytheism. On the right, monotheism. When we're talking about religions, we can break them up into different groups. The two groups we're going to be looking at right now are monotheism and polytheism. If you look at these words, you can break them down into parts. We've got mono, which means one, and poly, which means many. The root word theo, which is where we get the means religion. And ism is belief in. So theo's God or religion, ism is the belief in, so we got the belief in one God, or the belief in many gods. Hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm going to cover some broad generalities here. Some kind of basic things that may not apply to every monotheist religion, may not apply to every polytheist, but it applies to many. So let's start with polytheism. If you are someone who believes in polytheism, you believe in many gods. This could be like the Greeks, who believed in Zeus, Hera, Aphrodite, Hades, all these different gods. Or the Hindus in India. Or any number of groups. If you're monotheism, you believe in one God. Jews, Christians, Muslims, like that. But for polytheism, let's look at kind of the parts of the religion. What it kind of means for you. Alright, so let's say you got many gods. 200 maybe, 300, 100, doesn't really matter how many there are. But there's only one you. So let's say we got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of gods, and then here's you. This god right here might like you, but this god over here might not like that god. So to punish them, they attack you. Or maybe this god over here just is angry and decides to cause an earthquake right where you happen to be at that time. So what can happen is you feel the bad effects even though these gods aren't angry with you exactly. Also in this religion, you're not really an individual. Think about it like this. In the Greek world, entire cities were devoted more or less to one major god. You know, you had Athens. The main god of Athens was Athena. You had other cities devoted to Ares, and there was even one that was devoted to Hades. So the other gods aren't really all that important in that city, although they are a little important. But here's the thing, if you're in Athens, and you go and you pray to Ares, it's not like Athena was going to strike you down and kill you. One person doesn't pray to her, big deal, still got the whole city. So the individuality is not quite all that important, unless maybe you're like a king or a really rich, powerful person. In polytheism, there's often this belief that there are monsters walking among you. Maybe a minotaur, or some kind of snake with all sorts of heads. Who knows? All sorts of monsters around you at all times. Oftentimes these monsters are made by the gods. Either they're punishing people, or they're jealous of someone and they make that person into a monster. or they have sex with a person and a monster comes about, whatever. So you have lots of monsters walking around. These monsters can also hurt you. In monotheism, there really isn't the belief that there are monsters around. I mean, in Christianity, you got a little dude with a couple of horns and a tail, pitchfork, and his demons. But not monsters. In monotheism, the idea is that every person is important, not the city, not the numbers of people worshiping, but every individual person is important. In monotheism, if you get punished, the belief is you're getting punished because you did something wrong. You were bad. And that's why you get punished. Having many different gods in polytheism means that they each have their own desires. They each have things they want to do, things that they're going to do, and it's kind of your job to try and interpret what they want you to do, when they want you to do it, things like that. Like I said, those desires, maybe the one god doesn't like another one, and so you get punished. When you have a lot of gods, you also have a lot of gods with a lot of free time. Maybe this god right here, his job is to take care of the sun. That's all he does. So at night, he's got a lot of free time. This god right here, maybe they're in charge of hunting. Little bow and arrow here. And that's all they're in charge of. And another one that's maybe in charge of rivers, I don't know. They're going to have a lot of free time. In monotheism, you got one god in charge of everything. This god is going to be very busy, very focused on everything. The sun, the rivers, the hunting, all that stuff. Now I bring this up for a reason. If the gods have free time, and in polytheism they have a lot of free time, they often come down to earth and look for a way to entertain themselves. And often they entertain themselves at your expense. Greek mythology, the gods would come down and rape people. Gods would come down and fight people, destroy people. Oftentimes just basically for fun. They're bored. In monotheism, you don't really see that much. If you have many gods, as in polytheism, that means you have to build many temples. Because you can't really worship the god of love in the temple for the god of war. In monotheism, you can just build one temple. And you might be thinking, well, why is that such a big deal? Think about all the resources that have to go into building every single one of these temples. Statues, trees being cut down, stone being cut, maybe gold being put in there. That's a lot of stuff. And then there's a lot less of that stuff for you. Monotheism, there's going to be a lot more of that stuff for you. And I realize these are high quality pictures here, guys. In polytheism, because you have so many different gods, and you don't know why you're being punished, you don't know what's happening, you want to make it stop, you often have to go to someone who can talk to the gods. A person like an oracle or a priest. And that person will tell you what the gods are thinking, what they want. But they're not going to do this for free. You must pay them. In monotheism, again, the idea is something's bad happening to you, it's because you did something bad. And you know what you did, so you just have to make it right. Another problem is going to be, if you have many gods, you're going to have many rules to follow. If there's 300 gods and each one wants you to follow 10 rules, that's a lot of freaking rules. In monotheism, Christianity, how many rules do you think you have to follow? Big ones, that is. 10. Judaism, how many big rules do you think they have to follow? 10. Actually, the exact same 10. In Islam, how many huge, big rules are there? Not 10. 5. There are a lot of little rules, and we'll get into that later in the year. So having less rules means you've spent less time studying all this stuff, but also less likely to break a rule and get punished. Because we no longer have oracles, we now have, in these monotheism religions, books. And these books tells you pretty much everything you need to know. I realize that's a lot of information, but hopefully it makes sense. This will be useful information as the class goes on, because a lot of the cultures we're going to study in ancient history are polytheists. They believe in many gods. So there are going to be lots of temples. There's going to be lots of fear, lots of wondering why things are going on, lots of different things going on. The Aztecs sacrificing people constantly. The Mayans sometimes sacrificing lots of blood offerings. The Greeks burning all sorts of animals and offerings to the different gods. So this is going to have a huge impact on their lives. We'll study monotheism a little bit, but most of that's going to come next year in World History Part 2. If you have any questions, just ask.